Hi there, René H. Jurgensen here from Coinvans, and in this video series we're talking about how to invest successfully in crypto. And this is step 4 of gaining success in your crypto investments, and that step is called buy the dip. So let's just start with I'm personally investing in the dip. I'm buying the dip myself, and we talked about it in the last video, buying low. It's a strategy. Buy low, sell high, which is a very simple strategy, but it's a little more complicated to implement. The last video we talked about market cycles and that predicting those, that's part of the reason it's complicated to sell at the top. But let's just first understand why we're talking about buying the dip. Why is this a very powerful and very successful strategy? If we look at last bull run, which was in 21, we saw the top of the cycle in July, August of 21. If we look at that bull cycle, which actually started in the whole cycle, it's a 3-year cycle. We talked about the crypto cycles, 4-year cycles. It's a 3-year cycle that started in 2019. So if we look at actual data from crypto coins, like cryptocurrencies, the overall market, the average market, if you bought at the middle, let's say you're not that interested in crypto, you're just kind of going about your life, then the news are talking about more and more and more, and you're listening to it for a year, and you're like, okay, I don't believe in that. All the scare tactics are working. They're scaring me away. But then at some point, you keep hearing about these massive gains. You're like, okay, now I need to pay attention, right? And then that's what most people do. This is what Warren Buffett says, that the wise starts at the beginning and the fool comes in at the end. And that's really what happens to most investors. 80-90%, the news of crypto and the gains will penetrate at the middle of the bull market. And so if we look at actual data from the last bull market, if you entered at the middle of the bull run, you would have an 800% gain. You would have an 8x. So if you came in the middle and you heard about all the gains and now I have to be part of this too, you were able to get an 8x gain, which is still good, which is still quite good. But if we look at the actual data from, if you were coming in 2019, if you bought the dip, if you bought coins when they were really cheap, you could have had, this is overall the average from the total market of all cryptocurrencies, you would have a 4,000% gain. So you would have a 40x. So buying the dip means that you can get a 40x, at least maybe 10, 20, 30x. But overall, the average is 40x. If you come in at the middle, if you disregard this, if you don't hear this message, if you don't prepare for the next bull run, if you don't accumulate, keep your dry powder and accumulate in the next bull cycle, you're going to lose out on a 40x. But this is what most people do, and that's why we're here to help. We're here to help manage your asset. We're here to help you and guide you to accumulating and buying the dip, which is really the most powerful strategy, because that way you can achieve up to a 40x, which is a very nice gain. Anybody would agree, I'm pretty sure. So if we look at some real numbers here from the last bull run, we can see that the Gala Games is still popular. We're waiting for it to, we're still invested in that. I kept some of my Gala, definitely. But Gala had a 32,570% gain. If you bought that when it came in at the bottom, you would have a 32x. If you had Axie Infinity would have brought you an 18,000% gain, so that's an 18x. You had Sandbox here, it had a 16,464% gain, so that's a 16x. And you've had Polygon, you might have heard of. Polygon was a 14x, 14,000%. Phantom had a 13,000%, almost 14x again. And Terra Luna, Solana did 11,000, so an 11x, obviously. Then the dip, when you see where you saw what Solana could do, and when you know Solana's project, its speed, how it's just making everything better than what you were doing this time, and that is the new all-time low that we had back in October of 22. That's when you could have bought Solana at $8, right? So today, when you hear this message and where you see where Solana has gone for $8, of course you understand why in the next cycle you should buy the dip, because that's really how you get Solana at $8, or you get some of the newer projects. You get to buy Say at 9 cents, you get to buy Caspa at 4 cents, or again doubling up and getting more at 9 cents. This is really when you get in early on some of these new strong projects that have really high potential in the future. That's when you can get really massive gains, because you're buying really, really low, and then you're riding the bull and predicting the market, you can sell at the right time and then you get massive gains, right? This is really what buying the dip is all about. And to help us do that, we actually have there's a lot of charts out there, there's a lot of help, a lot of experts, but actually one of my favorite, the one we use at Coinmans is Plan B. He is really he's called the Oracle. He has something called the stock to flow chart, which has proven itself again and again. And so this guy really knows what's going in the market. He's predicting, mixing a lot of data, and he gives us a chart, his stock to flow chart, where he actually tells us, he has 4 dots. He tells us a green dot, that's when we're in a bear market. That's a good time to accumulate. And then he tells us when we're when the bear market is ending. That's when he puts in his blue mark, which is what he calls accumulation, because now we're getting out of the correction is over. Now we're starting the beginning of the new phase where we are rising, and he calls this accumulation. This is the time to buy. This is when you're buying the dip and you get the good prices. And then these blue dots, then when accumulation is over, it means now we're hitting the bull market. And we've just had our first red dot because we had new all-time high in March before the halving, but we had new all-time highs for Bitcoin, which means we're now in a bull market. And then, of course, now we need to write this up and just hold on to our holdings and see if each coin is getting us a 10x, a 20x, or a 50x. Some might even go higher. You can get 100x on some small caps, some projects. And then overall, your portfolio, depending on how you choose to invest, are you aggressive or are you more defensive? Are you more conservative? You can get a 10x if you're conservative. But if you are aggressive, if you invest with us, we can provide a 20x. You can also get a 30x if you play this game, if you ride the market cycle in the right way, accumulate at the right time, and time the market at the right time as well. And this is really what's very important. And then also, what's important when you do invest in the cycles and when you're buying the dip, it's also important to understand how the top works. So basically, most investors come in, and we call this the path to alt season, because altcoins, general crypto, mid lower cap, that's really where you see the big gains, the 50 to 100x. Bitcoin is only going to do a 3 or 4 or 5x. Ethereum might do a 10x. Solana could do maybe a 20, I don't know, but the larger the coin, the less gains you get. When you go into the alt season, into the altcoin, that's really when you see the big gains. And if you understand the flow, there's a chart that actually shows us exactly how this works. Everybody starts coming into Bitcoin, and then when they heavily invest in Bitcoin, they see Bitcoin go up, they take profits out, and now they start investing in lower coins. So that would be Ethereum. Now it's going to be Solana, and then from there on it goes down. Large cap coins, so we could have Avalanche, we can have some Polygon maybe, and it goes down, and now it goes into the large cap, medium caps, and now we end up in the lower caps, which is what we call alt season, because now everybody is trying to pick up the new AI altcoin, low cap, if there's any more left still in 6 to 12 months. They're trying to invest in any small project because now everybody's getting greedy, everybody wants out. This is the time when we see our gains at Coinmans, and that's when we start to thinking about getting out, because when everybody is in euphoria, when there's blood in the streets, that's the dip, that's when you buy. But when everybody's greedy, that's when we need to be fearful, right? That's when we have to start to think about it. But this is also when we see the alt season and the altcoins pump, and we will see the 50, 100x, there can be 200 or more. Some projects have seen even more than that if it's a real low cap, right? So that's when we're starting to see the real alt season. That's when we start to see the real gains. And that's how you buy the dip. You understand the market cycles. You understand how money flows into Bitcoin. It then filters down and goes into your alt season. And that's when you have the real big gains. That's when you have 20, 30, 40, 50x. And that's when you start getting real returns. And that's really the name of the game. That's what we help you do here at Coinmans. So look us up, free consultation, or let's get to the next video.